So, it is Wednesday, the Donovan Sadiq Show. This is a special edition. If you guys that are watching live notice, we have my partner in crime, Demetra K. And Demetra K has her personal bodyguard with her all the way down from Houston. Now, before we get started, Al, how is Houston? I mean, we're from California, so we're used to desert and dirt and all that other stuff and earthquakes. So, in Houston, did it affect you, the flood or anything like that happened down there?
The only thing that affected people from the storm was an extra day off.
What does that mean?
An extra day off. That's the day you don't have to go to work.
Right.
If it's Klan Day down there, people will take it off.
Right. Was anybody barbecuing? Anything extra?
Yeah, people were barbecuing after they stole folks' barbecue pits from the flood.
Right.
After they stole everything from the grocery store.
Right. Okay. Great. Damn. Really? Well, wait. Are you just the grocery stores? Because what I saw was a lot of beauty hair and weave being stolen.
Yeah. Well, the weave that's the extra stuff you can throw in a barbecue pit to keep that fire
going. Wow. But all in all, has everything recovered pretty much? I mean.
Yeah. People are like getting back to normalcy. The only bad thing I can say is that the attitudes are still there. The traffic seems like it's just as worse.
That's going to be horrific. You guys are aware that Houston is below sea level. Mm-hmm. You guys are aware of that, right?
Yeah.
So all your tax dollars to build those great roads and those great buildings and stuff, the contractors and the architects knew that this could be subject to flooding.
Well, this isn't the first time we've had a major flood, and I don't think it's going to be the last. And for years, every time there's a big flood, we need more drainage systems.
Right.
They're building on the wrong end of town. Okay. You're building more freeways, which is good to extend the streets. But the people that are in the flood areas, those are people that are really hurting.
Yeah.
And so the news crews seem to get out there too late. They put the information out.
Yeah.
Like the last storm we had, they would say, don't evacuate.
Right. The mayor said don't evacuate because it'll congest the roads and everything like that.
The one before that, they said evacuate. And then when they evacuated, it was a clusterfuck on the freeway.
Right. I have one real big question. Joe Osteen has a $10 million mansion down there.
Right.
Okay, he did not have access to the stadium, the former Compact Center.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let anybody use his love land, whatever that place is. But he's a man of God, supposedly. He has a $10 million mansion. How many people did he let use his mansion? A couple hundred? What?
Oh, I think it was more so like a couple of hundred. Hell, more like thousands of hundreds.
No, you're talking about the house.
The house, the mansion.
Nobody went to the house.
I mean, the guy has a $10 million.
Yeah, nobody was at the house.
Did he have anybody come to his?
Not that I know of.
But the old Compact Center, I heard there was maybe 200, 300 people when he finally opened it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one coming to his house. They got other major churches out there, and those pastors didn't even do anything to invite the people to come out there. But him, since he has the
mega church,
the bigger church,
the stadium,
he reacted too late.
Right.
And then when the heat got on him, that's when he's like, "Hey."
Yeah, that ain't what happened. But I heard that his membership has really suffered because of that.
Yeah.
And, people have said, we're done with this guy.
People expose you. So speaking of exposure.
Poor Osteen.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, that $8 million that you're losing a week is going to affect you. But Dee, you've been on hiatus. What's going on with your show? Your numbers were great.
Oh, word! I don't check the numbers. I've been on hiatus because my man who's sitting right next to me has been in town, so I didn't do the show. But yeah, I take your word for it.
No, the numbers are great. I read the comments, and you are just...
The most hated?
No, I'm the most hated.
Oh.
But you're right there with me. Yes, you're right there with me.
It's all good.
So, but the point is, if they're not talking about you, we're not doing our job.
That's right.
And y'all doing an excellent job.
Okay, good. Yeah, and you watch us all the way from Houston when you're down there.
All the way. One good thing I can say about y'all's show, both of y'all's show, is that And I was telling baby girl, Dr. Demetra, Dr. Donovan, I was telling her that in the South, we don't get a lot of black history.
Oh, wow.
They don't teach black history. If you're not going to a HBCU, you're not going to get it taught.
Right.
The only thing that they're going to teach you is about, you're going to know about Martin,
right.
You're going to know about Malcolm,
right, and Obama.
And Obama.
And Beyonce.
And her too.
Right.
But when it comes to black history, you don't know shit.
Well, you know, the funny thing is I thought I knew my history until I took black history class at RCC. Man, I got my ass kicked in that
I think
class.
that happened to all of us. It's like,
yeah.
oh.
Holy crap. And even until today, like when Dee brings up a lot of stuff because she's so Afrocentric, I still learned a lot of things that she talks about.
And
I don't refute it. Yeah, I don't refute it. I just say, okay, let me do my research on that. And that will. We'll do that. But, you know, the good thing is whatever we're doing, it is working because we're getting responses. And I've said it on my show. I've said it on your show. I do not understand why people have a problem with you talking to your people. And it's human nature that I have a degree in behavioral science and social behavioral science. Social meaning, you know, groups. Asians do it. White people do it.
Yep. Unapologetically.
Latinos do it.
All the time.
And Dan Rather be here in a couple of weeks and he'll be doing it.
Right. But when we talk about, you know, I mean, you know, we have a problem within our community, but the minute here you are trying to put that information out there and everybody has something to say of why you shouldn't be doing that. And I think that's...
Which is why I'm going to do it even more.
Even
now.
more.
And you should do it even more, too.
Right. Absolutely. So, real quick, let's get to it. The Kenneka Jenkins story, the photos have been released. And for those of you who have seen the photos, have you seen the photos?
I have. They're pretty gruesome.
They're pretty gruesome, and it doesn't really go with the narrative that they were kind of telling us about it. Okay, obviously she was found face down. I've got some notes. Al, did you see the photos?
I saw them, unfortunately.
I mean, okay, you're a father. You have a daughter. Two daughters. You have two daughters. You're beautiful girls, by the way.
Growing and grown.
Grown. Right. You know, the Lord. If I had daughters, I wouldn't even be here right now. I'm saying they would be under my wing because that's the kind of. Because I know what I did as a man, so I don't want anybody to do that as my.
Oh yeah, it's hard to say no.
Yeah, it's hard to say no, and you know, you don't want nothing to happen to your baby and stuff like that. But
because as fathers, the only thing we want our daughters to do is keep their ass off the pole.
Yeah, yes.
You keep them off the pole, we don't care what you do.
You want them to do more than that, but that is, you know.
But if they make it to the pole, you failed as a father.
Yeah, I agree.
But as a father, looking at what happened to this young girl, it's obvious. Her father died, unfortunately, but I'm sure he has relatives. Nobody on that side of her family is really speaking out. They live in a gang-infested area. If you do your history on Kenneka Jenkins, she is connected to an old-time
Black
gang.
Disciples.
Yeah, the Black Disciples and the Guerrilla Mafia and all that. You know, these people go back. You know,
right.
That doesn't help him.
But you know, when you're raised in that environment, I mean, there's no opportunity. There's nothing. You know, a lot of stuff that I alleged actually came out to be true,
yes,
based on critical thinking and just logic.
Right.
Why would you? Let me ask you this, Al. Since you're you're here in California, why would you go to a hotel in the very city that you live in?
Probably because she was. I don't want to make excuses. Maybe she was just used to her environment. And really just the way that she was raised.
Right. But I'm just saying, I'm not going to a hotel unless the party's in the ballroom or the lobby. I'm not going to go to a room.
Well, we've talked about this before, and it's not unusual for people, especially the younger kids, to go to have a hotel party.
Are we talking from experience?
I haven't been to a hotel party per se.
Yes.
But I've been to a house party.
Sure.
Well, it's a little smaller scale than a house party where, you know, your homegirls, his homeboys, y'all just hanging out. So maybe they couldn't go to one of their mama's house, but her friend worked there. So she probably got it for next to nothing. Let's have it up here.
Yeah, but you're in a room with 2 beds in it, and I guess they got two rooms. You got 30 people in a room. Which is
not unusual, though. Hotel parties are not unusual.
I'm sure at some point she thought that, hey, something don't seem right. And when you have that intuition, you
well,
gotta
yeah, and you would think being raised in a gang environment, if I see my enemy's gang in the party, I'd be like, time to go.
Fatal mistake, evidently.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff in this case that doesn't.
Some friends.
Yeah, well, and as fathers, we tell our kids, those friends ain't your friends. You better be selective, especially our daughters.
Yeah.
Because, women be hating on each other all the time.
All the time.
How y'all dress, what's your hair, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just sad. It's just a sad.
Like I always say, Michi's mom. She used to always say, a friend will never lead you to danger.
Right. Well, in this case, it looked like it happened, but.
You are who you hang with.
Yes, exactly, and you are your environment. Okay, but here's some of my observations. The hair looks like it's a wig. Now, I did say along all the videos that was her.
Mm-hmm.
At first when it came out, I was like, no, that can't be her. But then I said the next day, like, no, that's her.
Right.
Okay, when they found her, there was 2 lipsticks found. One by the door and one by the shoe. As a woman,
in the freezer?
Yeah, in the freezer. Okay. As a woman, is it normal for, in your experience as a woman, to carry 2 shades of lipstick? Because we know Kennika had those big lips and she liked to put gloss on.
I would say I probably have 6 in my purse now. So
well, she didn't have a purse, but you don't have a purse.
On her person.
On her person.
Because her friends took the purse to her mama's house.
Right. I'm just saying, when you're at a party and you don't have your purse, you might have your keys, you might have a thing of lipstick.
I'm starting to think it was a setup to begin with.
Well, I would say just from personal experience, like if I've gone to a party when I was younger, the club, and I don't go to the club no more, I would, instead of taking my whole purse with me, I would put like my lipstick in my back pocket or my keys.
But you said
why
lipstick. Why 2?
Well, sometimes we like to mix our lipsticks together and get a different shade.
But would you carry 2 lipsticks?
Yes, if I was doing it that night. That's with the makeup trends going on nowadays. It's not unusual for women to put on 2 shades of lipstick.
Okay, gotcha.
So
like I said,
that's
we're asking
not strange.
you. Okay.
I can see 1 lipstick and a lip gloss,
Right.
but not 2 lipsticks.
No, that's really not unusual. Some women, not to give y'all makeup tips, but they'll put the dark on the outside and then the light on the inside to give that pucker effect or whatever. So it's not unusual.
That whore look is very, very popular.
I said pucker.
Well, the whore look is very, very popular nowadays.
Yeah, maybe some guys like that lipsticks other places.
Or yeah, exactly. Or maybe you're suffering from some welts on your lips and you got to put them on.
Bro,
Anyway,
you tripping.
okay, sorry. All right,
Caramex.
Abrevia.
Oh God.
The shoe was off, and where were her socks? Now, I was stationed in Alaska, so I know, and I took winter survival training, and I heard it's very rare that you get so cold you're going to take your clothes off because you're in dementia. That's very rare.
Right.
And it seems funny, the narrative that they keep giving us about this girl, that everything that is so rare happened to her.
True.
That's what I don't understand, because it's like, wow, she has the rare blood type. I'm just hypothetically.
Yeah.
She has rare hair. She has rare nails. She has a rare heart condition.
Is this medically speaking? It's on the reports?
Well, no. What they're saying, the police department and the coroner, that's why they said she died of hypothermia.
They is mama them.
Right, mama them, right. In hypothermia, in some cases, people were known because you're demented at that time. You think you're hot when you're really cold and you take your clothes off. Now, here's a girl that's from Chicago. She's used to the cold element. Right. She's used to the hot element. I find that hard to believe. But why would her shoe be off, and then where is her socks?
Okay, if you're
now remember, these are Jordans.
No, right. And if you're asking me, it sounds like the body was moved. She wasn't.
I don't think the body was moved. I think she was thrown in there.
Okay, well, either way, but I think wherever she was.
Yeah, if you're in the freezer, you probably want both your socks on. In Chicago?
Right.
But wherever she was before she got to the freezer, or whatever happened to her, didn't happen to her in the freezer.
Right.
Because why are her pants, like, they weren't even all the way up and they were unbuttoned from the photos that I saw. It looked like, so maybe somebody had a hard time putting them back on her. Right. Which is why her socks maybe was missing. Maybe she got into a scuffle with these people.
One of the stupidest logic theories out there is that, well, her impersonator, they had to hurry up and take those pants off and put it back on her.
Okay, but let's just ask this question. Who normally has an impersonator and why? Okay, in the last couple of weeks, we've heard Melania may have a body double impersonator.
Transvestite. Yeah.
Okay, but the issue, the point that I'm trying to make is, I've never heard of Kennika Jenkins up until the time she was murdered. So I guess the question I'm asking, you've asked this before, who is she exactly?
Right. What is so special about
and how
this
do you
girl?
spell Kennika?
Oh, God.
That's all I want to know.
Well, it's the same as Shaniqua.
Oh, okay.
If you thought you was getting the hate. Just wait till they see the stuff. I see you making fun of a dead girl.
Well, and and also for those guys that are listening to us on the podcast, you're not going to be able to see this, but go to our YouTube channel, and you're going to see as we're talking, we're going to put the video to what we're saying for people to take a look at it. She was found face down by the door.
Right.
Okay. And people were making fun of her stomach. Oh, like she's
Really?
pregnant and stuff like that. Well, number one, when you're dead like that, rigor mortis sets in,
You swell.
and then you swell and your
Right.
blood pools. So her lips, if she's face down, the blood is pooling at
Right.
the very bottom. Once again,
It's almost like in a horror movie.
right. But once again, ignorant Negroes
Right.
that don't know what they're talking about.
Right. She's pregnant. No,
Yeah, she wasn't pregnant. The body's pooling, and then if you notice when they propped her up, she stayed in the same exact position.
I know
She was
exactly.
supposedly frozen, and there's rigor mortis.
Rigor mortis, so she's gonna be stuck.
How
like
old
that.
was Kennika? That's all.
19.
19
years old.
She was a baby.
It's strange, like how things are now opposed to how they were then.
Right.
If this was in the 80s, I think that her mom would have taken her to this party, dropped her off, just like at a school dance, and then came to pick her back up.
But she was 19, so she
Well-
chronologically.
I would agree with you if she had a mom like that, but to me it seems she had a mom that lived in an environment like that and was more of a friend to her daughter more so than a parent.
Right.
That's what it
Yeah,
seems
she
like
wasn't
to me.
no June Cleaver.
Yeah.
And then no shade to Teresa the Hot Chick Martin, but she wasn't a June Cleaver. She was that type of woman that was, as you saw the videos, can you do a split on the dick?
Yeah.
Shit, how the hell you think you got here?
Right.
So-
She really likes the attention now that she's
Right.
getting and things like that.
Maybe the mom said, "Look, you go to the party and you tell me how it is, and then I'll go to the party next week."
Well, yeah, exactly. Like I said, and I've told Dee this several times. When you come from an environment that is like Beirut or something like that, where there's not a lot of opportunities, not a lot of jobs. One thing about gangs, okay, there's three things that are common in gangs. You see it in Houston, LA, major cities where gangs thrive. Drugs is number one. Prostitution is number two. So I'm a 19-year-old girl. There's not many jobs out there, whatever deal. So what am I going to do? I'm by a major airport. I've been in a lot of hotels as an air crew member, and there's always prostitutes in the hotels because you got these guys that are coming in, business traveling men. You can either set them up to be robbed or sell some pussy. Simple as that. And I really think that was a part of what's going on. And the mother knew because the mother lives that lifestyle as well. Because again, she has 6 children by different men.
All by different men?
I wouldn't say all of them,
most part,
but out of 6, I'd say 4 have different men. So
is that a bad narrative if a boy is growing up and his dad is not in his life and he turns to start doing devious
the
things,
dark side.
doing the dark side, then he becomes a menace to society. Now, if a woman has the mother in her life, like Kennika did, how does it still get to that point?
Well, because if the mother lived that lifestyle also, then that's almost like saying there's no right or wrong because it's kill or be killed.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. My mother was a widow. My father died. Whatever the deal is, but my mother still patterned me and my brother after her father and what a strong man's supposed to be. That's why people say, my aunts and them, they go, "Damn, Donovan is a male chauvinist motherfucker."
But are you really though? I mean, in technical terms, you're a male chauvinist, but is that? See, we've made that not me, but women, especially feminism, have made that a bad thing, a male chauvinist. But it's like at the same time, as you always talk about, then those women be like, there are no good men around. I need a man, but it's like, but you calling me a chauvinist?
Right.
I'm trying to help you and be there, but yet you want to do my job.
It seems to me that Kennika didn't have no one positive in her life.
No, well,
the stepdad,
her
friends,
none of that. I mean, because think about it, she's living on the south side of Chicago.
And also, as we talk about, the mother is the first teacher. So if you have a mother who is doing the same things that now you're doing, your kids are watching you get your groove on and all of that.
Well, ask yourself this: why is it? And I know she hates Tommy Sotomayor, but a lot of stuff that he says. I don't
hate him. I hate his delivery and some of the stuff he says.
But
I would like him if I knew how to spell that name.
Sotomayor. Sotomayor.
That sounds like some cooking grease.
Yeah. But D knows his real name. Yeah. But anyway, in regards to that, you know, when you're raised in that environment, I mean, and he says this, Tommy Sotomayor says this all the time. And girls, I feel sorry for girls that are being raised with their moms because they're in competition with their mom, or the mom's in competition with them.
Yeah.
That's why those girls are in such a hurry to get the hell out. They're being called bitches at home, and bitch, you better get this and get that, because the mother sees what she used to be. Now the daughter's coming into her own, and then what does the daughter see? My mom's wearing a weave, so I have low self-esteem because now I don't wear my hair because obviously it's ugly. How do I get out of here? All I gotta do is have a baby. I'll get a voucher. I'll do this. I'll, a food stamps, all that stuff. I mean, it's a win-win for them.
It's a path of least resistance. And, to your point about women being in competition with their daughters, back in the day, it was so, okay, me and you, we've all watched Mommy Dearest.
Sure.
And so we joke about it a lot, but that was a true dynamic. But I don't know how rare or, prevalent it was. So you saw the competition with the mother and daughter in that aspect. But now, as my dad would say, nowadays you can't tell, and I'm making a point, the hoe from the housewife. So a lot of times if you go into some of these households, you look at the mother's closet opposed to the daughter's closet.
Right.
You're like, well, whose closet is who? But back in our day, your mom had some polyesters and some long skirts and girdles, and you could tell the kids' clothes apart from them. But nowadays you can't.
Well, back in our day, my mom used to make our clothes and
my
make her
mom
clothes.
did too.
Remember those little pattern
Yep,
things? My mom
she
still has those boxes of patterns.
My mom did too.
And so you can tell who was who. But the funny thing, I have two nieces, and my mother says, "Thank God," because my mom wants to choke those bitches out. She literally does. After all she does for them, they are very supposedly from what she's saying. That generation of entitlement. They think that's somebody's just going to do for them. And then if I have a baby, if you don't do what I need, I'm going to take the baby and go live in the car. So as a grandmother or a grandparent, or as a, if you had a grandbaby out there, you're not going to let your grandbaby be in the street because the baby didn't do
AJ, no more kids. No kids. Keep it in your pants.
So,
well, he ain't got no kids.
Right. So, so these girls use that,
right,
especially if they come from a good environment, to put a gun to your head. Like I said, my mom said, thank God. And I could look at my mom and I could really realize she is better equipped to handle boys because her grandsons don't give her the problems that the granddaughters give her.
Well, I think that, and I'm not saying anything bad about the people who raised your nieces, but I just think that really speaks to how they were raised. Because my daughter should be 25, and I don't ever try to mention myself and my daughter as, look at us, we're doing everything right, because we're not. However, I had the conversation earlier on in Deanna's life to tell her, listen, you can go out there and have as many kids as you want, but guess who ain't going to be that chick?
Right.
Be sitting up talking about this is grandma's baby.
Yeah.
Nah, you going to raise it because I have to raise you, which is why I only got one.
Right.
Like
we know of.
Like when I had my son and I would want to go out, and my grandmother would watch him, and so I would tell her, say, Nanny, please don't give him no peanut butter and jelly. And she would say, don't tell me what to do with my grandbaby. I was wiping your nose and your ass when you thought about having kids. And as far as the clothes, me and my sister can want all we want. But if it wasn't in my mom's paycheck or her budget, I ain't getting the shit.
You ain't getting it. Exactly. Speaking of your son, how old is your son?
He's 23.
23. How tall is he? He looks about, 6'2"?
I think so.
Yeah, he looks about 6'2".
Something like that.
So, and what does he do as a young man down there? Is he still in Houston, or is he?
Yeah, well, one, he doesn't have any kids.
What?
No kids.
What's wrong with him?
My son.
What's right with him? Okay.
Yeah, no kids. He's talking to some girl.
White? Did he get on Becky?
No Becky.
Oh, okay.
I think her name was Belinda.
Okay.
So I don't know if she's black or white.
Right.
Belinda can go both ways. So maybe she's light skinned like me and him.
Right.
But he works with me.
Okay.
Yeah, he works on the other end of the furniture warehouse.
Okay. Cool. So, with the Kenneka Jenkins thing, there's a lot of things that are going on. The watch band didn't match because in the video, when she's in the bathroom, she had a black band on, and in the picture of the death scene, she has a gray band on. So there's a lot of things that are just not adding up with the thing. And here's the funny thing. I don't care how crazy you are. Notice in the video when she stumbled, she caught herself. She stood herself up. Now, in the video of that freezer, you could literally take your fingers and push that knob, and the door will freely open.
Was she drunk?
Drugged or drunk, it doesn't matter. But the thing is, even a drunk person, if that's all it took to open the thing and it freely opened, you didn't have to push it. You just push that knob with fingers, it would open. You mean to tell me that this girl just went into the freezer, laid down, and just died?
Now, did anybody ever confirm whether the freezer was on or off?
They said that it's so hard to get the right story, but they said, okay, number one, why would a renovated kitchen, and this is what they don't say, and I got this in my notes, if you follow what the Rosemont, and by the way, the Rosemont police took down all the videos.
Oh.
Put down everything because everybody was...
they just as bad as the LAPD.
Just police departments in general.
Yeah, so the videos are all over the place.
So what they don't show you is when they were reenacting where she walked through, to get to that kitchen is, a lot of people are under the impression that the kitchen is like at the lobby level and she just walked into it. No, she had to go up these steep steps.
Drunk,
now.
Somehow inebriated to some degree.
In the condition she was, she would have fell back down the steps and been a casualty right there.
Right.
But she had to go up these steep steps into this kitchen area, which is a remote kitchen that they weren't using, was under renovation. Yeah. They had 2 double doors, and I'm going to show you the pictures as we're talking here. They had 2 double doors that weren't supposedly locked because the contractors, it was like wooden doors, and she had to open these doors to go through these doors to get into the video of the kitchen. Then she goes to the kitchen, and in the remote area, out of all the places she's gonna go to the remote kitchen, to the very back,
drunk or something,
right? A kitchen that's under renovation.
Whatever attorney that they have, they need you. Their attorney ain't doing shit.
Well, I mean, I like to matlock these things, but why would you turn on a freezer that isn't being used? And you saw how filthy the freezer was based on the photos.
And more than likely, the freezer was unplugged.
Right.
So she was going to rot for sure.
Well, somebody did that. Somebody more than likely turned it on and put her there.
Well, here's the thing. Her stepfather, who was convicted of murder, he had strangled his girlfriend and was going to work, and he was a former Marine, Department of the Navy.
N-A-V-Y. Never again volunteer yourself. That's what the Navy said.
Right. What this guy would do when he would go to and from work was he would turn down the thermostat.
Yes, at the 50 degrees.
50-something degrees in his house.
Wow.
So that slows down decomposition.
And the baby was still alive, and for whatever reason,
pretty much
he starved, and then he ended up killing the baby because he couldn't take it.
And that's what the mom liked?
Hey.
That's what she was interested
that's what she's
in?
in now.
Maybe that's why the dad left. Hey, you like this kind of dude, I gotta go.
Hey, I've said this many times. Guys that are in jail get more pussy than guys that have jobs and doing the right thing.
That's what they were saying on Diary of a Retired Black Man.
I mean, it's true though. If you look at that, if you came to me and let's say Dee's my daughter, you said, "Yeah, sir, I just got out of jail. I just did a bid for murder and this is that."
Yeah.
It's nice to meet you, young man.
Yeah.
I need to talk to
Bring
you.
no black ass over here, okay?
Yes.
Now, what's wrong with you?
Mister, don't you move.
Right.
Don't you
move. That's right. That's right. But I'm serious. Guys that have been in jail, especially these 2 generations of black kids that these women have raised, walking into prison is a passage.
Until somebody want to pass something up their booty hole.
And that's part of the life they want to live. So
remember, anal is for an exit, not an entry.
Well, like I said, I have this big saying: if you don't want to get pregnant.
I have a question about the freezer.
Yes.
Now, recently, before I came down up here, see folks in Houston, when we're coming to California, they'll say, "We're going down there." Yeah. No, we're going up.
Right.
We're already down. I took a friend of mine to a Valero, and it was a drink that I wanted that was in their freezer.
Right.
The lady let me in. When she opened the door, the door closed on me, and I couldn't get out.
Right.
So was that the kind of door?
No, because that's called a cooler. That was a walk-in cooler. Now, in KennekaJenkins' case, there's and these are custom built. What it is there's a cooler you walk into. That's where they put the vegetables and stuff that they're going to use immediately. She was found in the freezer, so immediately when she walked in, she had to make a left, and there's a smaller door, which is a freezer. So she navigated all this stuff
she didn't do that by herself.
End up where she was.
I think she went to this party. The girl, she's more attractive than her friend. Her friend got jealous because she was getting more of attention from the other guys. They wind up drugging her, getting her drunk, raped her.
Okay.
Her friend didn't do anything.
Okay.
Then they had no use for her, unfortunately, and then let one of the other dudes escort her down to the freezer and just threw her in there and left her for dead.
And that's a good hypothesis.
I think that's what happened.
And it's possible. But here's my question at the end of the day. What makes this girl so special?
Right. And I mean, and no shade to her saying she's not special, but these body impersonators and, you know, they're
editing
taking her
the video.
organs and
because remember, gang members can't edit videos. Why is the hotel editing the videos?
Right. Was she Mandela's granddaughter? I mean, who was this? Who was she?
What
significance did she have?
Maybe the hotel had something to do with it.
But even if they did, why would I, a multi-million-dollar hotel, waste my time on street booty?
Well, because to your other theory, if her organs were harvested,
and they weren't.
Okay, so they weren't. So they said her organs were there. Okay, so then that just makes it all the more strange.
That's what I'm saying. Why would I don't give a damn about these Southside niggas that are killing themselves. Why would I do that?
Well, you know,
and I'm saying that to be, you know.
No, I get what you're saying. I know you're not trying to be disrespectful, but you know, a year or so ago they had this big campaign that came and like a flash and left. Where are girls? Find our girls.
Yeah.
Not only just here, but overseas, and all these black girls and women were missing. Mm-hmm. So, if that's true, maybe it's like, well, who's gonna really care? I mean, we had this campaign, this hashtag, Find Our Girls, and people did it for 3 days, and like, okay, Popeye's $5 box is back.
Now, here's one thing I do know, and I'm going to acknowledge this, and people don't know that. Black people, because of our melanin and our superior bodies, when it comes to transplants, our organs are least likely to reject, more so than white people's. I think that's a fact.
It is.
So could that be true that I've heard that black people don't like the cold? They can't take the cold, opposed to white people can take more heat.
Well, if you look at most of your cold regions, you don't see us there.
Well, we not next to no damn water.
Because I know in the South, when it gets cold, people that's not from the South, they'll say, y'all don't know what the cold weather is.
Exactly. And you got to think about it. Look at our skin compared to a white person's skin. As a white person ages, their skin looks like leather. Mm-hmm. And their skin is actually thicker than ours. That's why when it comes to swimming, we can't swim because we don't have a lot of body fat. Well, we do now.
I know I do.
But in general, you know, we don't have a lot of body fat. Our skin is a lot, you know, thinner. And I'm not saying, you know, because I love people that are biracial and stuff like that, but these are anatomical facts.
Right.
White people have more fat cells in their skins and things like that, and it's just how it is. But that is a great hypothesis. But again, at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, throw everything else out. This girl to me is nothing more than a gang member, whatever you want to call her. Why are they going to the extent that they are to cover this up?
Because they know they got caught.
Well, but what is it?
Yeah, I mean, because, and I know you're not trying to be disrespectful, but it's like, that's not unusual.
Right.
That,
black girls go missing or murdered.
That's not unusual to the point because, like, oh my gosh, never before has this happened.
Because you know, if the whole and I agree with you, the hotel has something to do with it because they're covering this stuff up. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if it was just cut and dry, black and white, there was a girl found in our freezer.
Fuck it, blame it on Trump.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But you know, you find this black girl in a freezer. You have nothing to do with it. Hey, here's the video. Here's everything. Here you go. We don't know what's going on.
Now, how is hotel attendants, I guess, or people renting a room? Are they losing money or is it
no? They're still making money.
White people like, shit, we don't give a shit. They ain't got shit to do with us.
Right.
Did they have a good rating for this hotel? Were they on Yelp?
It's a 4 or 5 star hotel.
Yeah, it's
by Chicago O'Hare.
So you would think they would be on top of their game if a tragedy went down in the hotel. They would be like, hey, whatever you need.
Well, the mama, I think for sure is going to get some sort of payout.
Well, there's no doubt when something like that happens,
it's
a liability issue. Now, as far as who killed her, why they killed her, this is some gang retaliation stuff. It still does not. It's like they throw that out there because that's obvious. Oh, she's in a gang, and okay, that's an obvious thing, but it still does not answer the question. If that's the case, then why is the hotel editing the tapes? Who is editing the tapes?
Right. That's a big mystery. Somebody holds the key to what is actually going on here.
Somebody got paid, and they're not releasing. It's almost like hush money.
Well, here's one thing. I'm going to tie it up and just bring you guys something to think about. Remember, I told you she's gang affiliated. I said that from the very beginning, didn't I?
The mother.
The whole family, everybody that was in the video.
Yeah, everybody.
All the people that were in the room, they're all gang affiliated.
What about the room that was next to Kenneka's room?
They had rented that one too. Now notice the rooms were rented with stolen credit cards and identity.
Plus, the girl who rented it, right? She worked at the hotel.
She worked at the hotel, or she worked at Walmart, wherever her situation is. Now remember, they said that the manager came to the room. What manager is going to come to the room and smell weed and not say, get the fuck out?
And a security guard, right?
Supposedly, yeah.
Supposedly.
And not say, get the fuck out.
Now, unless the manager was trying to get in on what was going on inside the room.
Here's what I'm saying. Some of those girls work there, right?
Right.
Is it feasible that they probably given him some weed and pussy on the side to get away with
I mean,
what
why
they
else
gotta
would
do?
you just mosey on up there unless
Right.
she was going to say, y'all need to get the
Because
hell
if
out
I
of
was
here,
the manager and I see these nigglets running around doing stuff illegal, not only did you just pay for the room, I'm throwing your ass out and I'm getting charges on all your asses.
Yeah, because no shade to anybody, but this is not the let's say the Motel 6
Right.
or something like that. This is an upper echelon
hotel,
hotel. So
right. I don't want these
you're
people-
scared that people gonna smell the weed and
Right.
noise and all of that stuff.
Right, you gotta get the fuck up out of here. So
Right.
get the hell out of here. We're throwing you out. We're calling the cops. Get the hell out of here.
So we can't underestimate the big hotels.
We can't. Now, like I said, this hotel and the guy that owns it, he is currently the ambassador to Israel.
Mm-hmm.
He has been involved in organ harvesting. He has been caught up in that. And that is big money. Right now, if I'm a rich man and I need a kidney, do you think I'm going to sit up here and wait for you to die so I can get your kidney? I'm going to say, oh, you're an organ donor.
You've seen Get Out.
I'm a donor. You
Y'all
can have my
got
kidney.
to see Get Out.
Isn't that with...
It's the movie about the it's no big name stars in there. Is his name not Keenan Peele.
okay.
Jordan
okay.
Peele.
Okay, right.
He produced it and it talks about
Okay, right. I'm going to check that out.
Yes.
But think about this, Al. You shouldn't be an organ donor. You shouldn't, because here's the thing. I'm a millionaire, and my daughter or my son needs a kidney. And you look at your stuff and say, oh, he's an organ donor. Young, African
Run his
American.
ass off the road.
Boom! You mysteriously got in an accident.
Yeah.
Guess what? And remember in the 90s, remember people were like, they are finding out people were like survived an accident,
Yep.
and then they killed them anyway because they said, well, hey, let's take the organ and we could use it for somebody else.
But one thing about when you're an organ donor, the blood has to match.
Okay.
They can't. I'm an AB positive,
Right.
and if she needed my leg or arm,
Right, but let's say my son is AB positive.
Yeah, there's a lot of AB positive people on the waiting list.
My mom is AB positive. I'm A positive. My brother's B positive. So, my mom could give us blood, but me and my brother can't give each other blood.
Yeah, because you can give A and B people.
Oh, okay, I'm AB positive. You're what?
B positive.
I'm A positive.
Who's on first?
Good question.
We
Good
can
question.
heal you up and get your organs.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to wait. So I'm going to have something happen to you to get your organ.
Watch Get Out.
Now here's
And
the
John
thing.
Q.
Yes.
for the organ.
Yes, exactly. But here's the thing. And a lot of people don't want to hear this. Obama and some of these gang members, who do you think is building the Obama library right now?
Some former gang members? Are you serious?
People that are associated with these gangs. Because what these gangs have done is...
How's that possible?
What these gangs have done is, just like what they do in this town, what these developers do is they buy politicians. So I'm going to take my drug money and my street money, right? Not all of us are dumb and just killing.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to get a construction company and try to go legit. Watch The Godfather Part 2. That's what all that was about.
Right.
He wanted to take the family legit. And
Right.
he had to play the political
Jay-Z's
games.
a perfect example.
Right. So, again,
Minus the big lips.
right. But
It was ugly.
no, but seriously, think about this.
Mm-hmm.
The very guy that is building the Obama Presidential Library, he has gang ties himself.
For real?
Yes.
Damn.
Yes.
Interesting.
Rob Emanuel. The
Oh.
stuff that's going on with that.
Uh-huh.
How does a contracting company that doesn't really have any successes or
Right.
been around a long time get awarded a contract?
Well, come on now.
To
You
do
know
the
it's all
presidential library.
it's inside
Now, what's one of the most corrupted cities ever?
Chicago.
Now, Chicago's been run by white people for a long time, but you got the black guerrillas and all these gangs of disciples and all these people that have gotten smart and said, you know what, I'm going to legitimize
What
it.
other city does that remind you of with that story?
Moreno Valley?
No? Kwame Kilpatrick. Same exact scenario.
Yes.
Where's that in, D.C.?
Detroit.
He was giving
Yeah,
inside
contracts,
bidding,
everything had to go
contracts
to
with
his fathers and
his-
through
and
his
his
father
father.
and stuff like that. But that's what is going on here. These guys have said, you know what, all this killing is great, but the real big money is I can take big tax dollars and get billions of dollars of contracts and do this. Now, Kennika Jenkins, she's gang affiliated. I mean, all these people, it's just, there's so many connections that you're like, wait a minute. How do you think Obama got the money to run against Hillary with that big money? Where do you think some of that money came from? Some of his donations?
Oh, it's probably connected.
Corruption.
I'm not saying Obama's a bad guy.
I mean, it's not unusual, though.
Exactly.
I mean, JFK said he got the presidency the same
Exactly.
way. Yeah.
You've got to play the game with people
Right.
that have the money.
Right.
And then once you take that money, guess what? I'm going to ask you for a favor.
Oh, yeah. You pay to play.
And someday that favor may never come.
With pro.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So put this together. This is about big money, people. A lot of stuff is happening. The Amazon headquarters, I hear, Pittsburgh and another city are now in the main running
Oh,
for it.
really?
So,
So basically, Moreno Valley Riverside can put get off their knees.
yeah, get off your knees.
And help the city.
No,
get them damn trucks off the street.
No. We still want a monorail, and I'm going to talk about that in one of my shows.
Okay.
And we're going to do that. But that Kennika Jenkins thing, there's too many ties there. There's too many things that throw everything out. Okay, the one thing we do know, somebody's dead.
Definitely.
And
You know
somebody doesn't care.
Well, a lot of people don't care. I don't care. But my question is this, because like I said, to me, that's just another gang member dead. There's gang members die all the time. Ask yourself this. Jesse Jackson ain't getting involved. Look at all these people.
Yeah, a lot of people are just
A lot of
silent.
these people that are Al Sharpton ain't getting involved. All these people that, we're this.
Now network.
Yeah, we're doing all this.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not getting involved. Because this is about big money. To
Probably
me-
because they feel they ain't going to get paid off of it.
Well, again, but you're supposed to be for the people. Is it really all about the money or is it about the
Well, I
justice?
mean, they take the big money. I mean,
Of course.
Al Sharpton got his own
Of
little
course.
show now.
So I'm going to ask you and anybody else. There are niggas dying every day. Why is this girl's situation so special?
What if it wasn't in Chicago? What if it was in another city, say like Seattle or Portland?
It don't matter. I
Okay,
don't
this
care.
is my theory of why it is, and I know we're running out of
No.
time.
We've got
This is my theory as to why it's gotten it's so important. It's because it's the power of the media. Now I know that black people overall we don't have media per se,
Mm-hmm.
less than 3%, but with social media we do have some power. And so
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason, this case went viral, and everybody got involved, almost like sucked in. And so that just also illustrates if we did, not if, but when we do get our own media up and running, stuff like people like Kennika Jenkins coming up missing will be important on an everyday basis, like a Natalie Holloway.
Right.
We're still talking about her.
I'm going to put up this thing by a lady named The Real Yvonne.
That's your girl right
she
there.
pretty much talked about the connection. So
Mhm.
at the end of the video, I'm going to put that video up. You guys take a look at it. Listen to what she's saying. Big shout out to The Real Yvonne. I'm with you, Yvonne. Fuck you motherfuckers out there that don't like what we're saying. You don't, if your butt hurts that much, go somewhere else. You know what I mean? We're not asking you for money on this channel. So big ups to Real Yvonne for freedom of speech. But at the end of the day, throw everything out. That's just another niglet dead. It happens in every city, everywhere. The question is, why are they covering this up? That is the biggest question. Why are the tapes being edited, and who is editing those tapes? That is the biggest question. So.
It's a good question.
So I want to thank my.
And unfortunately, it's going to take a long time to find a lot of answers.
Oh, absolutely, because this thing might go all the way up to a former president.
Obama.
Of course, he's in Chicago.
What are they going to do? Blame it on
Well,
him? now?
no, I'm not saying he had anything to do with it, but
No,
his
but-
associations.
We'll see.
So we're going to see that. But to my friend Al, how long are you going to be in town?
I'm going to be here till the 30th, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, you've been here for almost a week. I haven't seen you. Why is that?
That's because me and baby girl has been spending a lot of time. I love California. I hate.
Yes,
But I hate y'all's traffic. God damn.
Don't get him started.
Woo!
That's why you got to come into Ontario like I did for my trip leaving out.
Hey, I love Ontario. Ontario is a clean city.
Yes. Very, very nice. Very
Yeah,
nice.
I love Ontario.
Well, Moreno Valley, we used to be the place to be before we turned into a warehouse city. So, but I'll be down in Houston down there, dealing with some folks down there and getting a on-site tour.
Yeah.
And when are you coming back after you leave?
I'll be here the 29th.
Okay, when are you going to take this woman
Of
out of
December.
this? When are you going to take this woman out of here for good?
Hey, wherever she is, that's where I want to be. But
Okay.
but the traffic,
You can't do it.
Don't get me started.
she ain't got frustrated enough to get the hell out of California and come to Texas.
Right. Well, she was there one time before, and we'll be there one time again. All right, everybody, this has been the Donovan Sadiq Show. Thank you guys for tuning in. My good co-host today, Al Jackson, all the way from Houston, and of course, the militant Demetra K. Check her out, 3 o'clock Sundays, Facebook Live. We'll see you guys then.
Peace.